first introduction to HTML. So let's start. What is HTML? HTML is an hypertext markup language it forms the backbone of all the web pages that we happily over around these days. It provides them with a structure. It is a set of code tags which are most easily interpreted by the web browser. Hello guys, my name is Idris. It is not a programming language. First introduction to HTML. So this is not a programming language. So let's start by what hypertext markup language is. Hyper means a link which lets you go from one web page to another, and text, something that you write on, like the markup. Markup is a language. Markup is what you lay down, how you lay down the text, and language is because they need something to complete the word. So an HTML document is nothing but a simple text file, and it can be written using any simple text editor. A web browser, on the other hand, look for the HTML code to display the text, image, links to the other web page for you. An HTML document consists of two important parts: document creation, that is what the user will see; the tags, how the user is going to see what you design. So let's start by saying the first tag in an HTML document is called HTML tag, and is considered to be the head of the family. It form like is a tag that the browser recognizes, and it's an HTML document. So when this tag is in a document, then you guys should know that it is called an HTML document. So please, for every open tag, there's a closing tag like HTML. Like this closing tag here, you will see like the backslash and HTML together. That is like a closing tag. The tag HTML is followed by the head tag, and this is a special one, and the content written inside is not displayed on the web page. So any content written in this head tag is not displayed on the web page. It comprises of the title, which is usually seen on the browser window, or any instruction. It's like comprises of the title or any other instruction, and it's usually seen on the browser window, and which you want to provide to the browser. So for example, I have this title here where I said welcome to the tutorial. So if I put this code in a text document, then it will bring out welcome to welcome to the tutorial. So let me say for example, I have let me open my text editor here, line text. So let me clear this, delete. So I have title, I have welcome. So if I save this, and if I go to my browser, document HTML, if I go to my first page, you see welcome in the window here. Like you see the welcome being displayed here. So then Next is the head tag is usually followed by the body tag, or where the actual content that is visible on the web page is written. So whatever you write in the body tag is usually displayed on the web page. So even if it's you're trying to write an heading, a paragraph, or you want to insert a picture or a video or a table or a form, is the all goes in the body tag. So let's start by saying how do web browser interact with HTML? So browsers are too proud. They just do not or cannot read the content directly from the place where it is stored. To settle this conflict, web servers are used. So a web server acts like an intermediator. It patiently listens to the browser request and executes it for us. The document delivered to the browser contains the HTML text, which is displayed just by identifying the HTML tag. So once this tag is like received by the browser, like this HTML tag, the document, a file that contains this document is like sent to a browser, it's gonna display the content in the file. So what makes HTML so powerful? As it turned out, HTML is a very friendly language and is on good terms with almost all of the browsers. So you can use it on any browser, maybe Firefox, Opera Mini, Google Chrome, Safari, any browser. You can actually run a HTML file on any browser. So it isn't needy and work out well using a simple text editor. So that's why I asked you guys to download a text editor because you're gonna need it for this course. So the place where HTML is very like complicated is when it comes to like search engine, where like you have to start like building a lot of like HTML file just to create like a search engine like Google does have. So if I go to google.com right here, if I go to google.com, because we all know that Google is a search engine, and if you guys want to see the code behind Google, you can click on if you're using Google Chrome, you can click Control U, and you see behind uh, Google, the beautiful face of google.com that you see here. This is what is going on behind. And if you say, you will say like an HTML tag here. You see the HTML tag and you see a HTML tag. So it shows that this file is an HTML file. So this is how Google is running their code, you see. But to some other people, it looks like it like jargons or like or you won't understand. But this is actual like HTML file. So why isn't HTML a programming language? HTML is a fashion diva. It controls the presentation, structure, and layout of the data on a web page. It just does not contain any functional or programming logic. Like we said, HTML is not a programming language because a programming language consists of like some logic, some like like with very like complicated like logic, which HTML does not need at all. And manipulating data is not in its nature. Neither does it perform tasks like event handling, taking input and displaying output like programming language does. So this is what makes it different from a programming language. So what is a web page? A web page is a result of a team working together. A web server can be hardware, software that lets you deliver the web page to a browser. So the software you guys are using is is called what is the text editor you are using is the software, and the hardware is the web server. So the web page, so a web page can be hardware software that lets you deliver the web page to the browser, and the browser just have to read and decode the instruction in an HTML file. The browser is gonna decode that instruction and display the exciting stuff you guys put in an HTML file. It's gonna display the exciting content on the screen. So just like this, so you see we have Mr. Server here, which is a server, and the server saying if you go to google.com on the browser, it's going to say, oh, please server, can you send me some document from the address google.com? And so it goes through the request, go through the server, and the server look inside and say, oh yeah, I have list of file here, I have HTML file, I have CSS file, I have JavaScript file. So it's going to go to an HTML file and say, oh yeah, I have an HTML page. Then it said, oh sure, here is an HTML page. This is an HTML page. While it's loading, it won't display immediately, but while it's loading, it's going to go back and say, hey server, send me this CSS and JavaScript file referenced by that page. So in it's I'm going to explain what CSS and JavaScript are in later videos, but CSS is used for designing your HTML page, and JavaScript is used for like a little programming logic, which is you can write. So if it said, oh, send me this CSS and JavaScript file referenced by that page, by the HTML page, it's going to go back to the server and said, oh yeah, I see I have some CSS file and JavaScript. Then he said, oh no problem, CSS and JavaScript is coming. Then it's going to show you the beautiful page of google.com. So it's very easy, because once you have the HTML file, it's very easy to get the file from the server. So let's start by creating our first page. So I I posted some link of HTML tag for you guys. Um, so I'm gonna go through. So I'm gonna go through some of the HTML tag. So when we start doing the creating our page. I think it's from here. Okay, so we have, these are all the tags in an HTML file. So we have the HTML tag, and it's called the hypertext markup language. We have the head tag, and the head tag is like the prologue. If you're reading a novel, you have the prologue, that is the beginning of like of a document. So it's the head or prologue of the HTML document. Then we have the body. The body contains all the other content in an HTML document. We have the title tag, and the title tag is to create the title that goes here. You see it said YouTube, it said WhatsApp, it said welcome. So because I did uh title tag welcome, and it's displaying welcome here, so this is an HTML file. You see it said HTML here, so it goes through the server and said, oh yeah, I have an HTML file, and it displays this page, which is welcome here. So then we have the p tag, and the p tag is used when you're trying to write a paragraph in an HTML file. BR is the line break, and HR is a horizontal row, and it comes with like the HR size if you're trying to like create the size, the weight, the no shade. So the weight is in pics. It's like it goes with the horizontal rule, which I'm going to explain later. Then to if you're trying to insert a comment, this is the way you insert the comment here. So it's for writing a comment, and the A tag is if you, for linking HTML file to another like file. So we're gonna do that later in the video. Then we have the href, which is hypertext reference. It's like if you're trying to link a page together, this is where you type, oh, the page I'm trying to link to another page. Then we have li. Li is for listing, and we have ol. Ol is for organized list, and in the organized list it has li, which is to list the stuff in organized way. Then we have unorganized way, and it's going to list the result in unorganized way. So let's try to add all this stuff in our file to see the beautiful way of web design. So let's go. So to create our first web page, so this is the way content. So that's why I asked you guys to download a text editor here, because this file goes in a text editor. So I have my HTML to show that, oh, my document is an HTML file. I have the head, which is the prologue of my HTML file. Then inside I'm going to add my own title to it. Then I have the closing tag for my head tag. Then I have my body tag, which I am here. This is my first web page. Then I have my closing tag of the body. Then I have my closing tag of my HTML. So all HTML file are saved as the extension is .html or .html file. So when you create yours, you can name it whatever name you want, but you have to make sure you add .html file, because you're telling the file that, oh, my file name is my first web page .html. So let's try doing that. So here I have my first web page. So let me clear this out, and we start by saying, oh, I'm trying to create, oh, let me go to my file and delete this. So let me delete this one. Then I'm gonna go to file, open folder, and I'm gonna pull my folder. I'm gonna do right click here, new file, new text document. Oh no, sorry, no, cancel. This is not what I want. Delete. So let me close this out. Yeah, save changes. So delete. So file. So I say new. So I said, oh, let me create this like this, my HTML. You see, when I'm typing, so let's do it this way. See, when I'm typing, it's like this is just a normal editor. Now I'm trying to type that, oh, this is my this file is going to be an HTML file, but I haven't saved it yet to let the text editor how the file I'm trying to work will be an HTML file. So I have to go to file, then I have to save as. Then it's called a nesting tag, because I'm putting it in another tag. So I'm putting it inside the body tag. So this P here is a nesting tag. So we have the break tag. The break tag lets you start a sentence from a new line in HTML. So it's denoted as BR. And you see BR here, it might be confusing because it doesn't have a closing tag here. So the location, it is placed inside the body tag. Usage, it lets you start a new line. So the reason why it doesn't have a closing tag is because it is a self-closing tag. It stands on its own. It's a self-closing tag. So let me go by explaining what a self-closing tag means. So the opening and closing are both included under same tag. So it stands on its own. And not all tag can be used as in a such way. You can't say, oh, the body is a self-closing tag. No, the body is not a, a self-closing tag. So the HTML is not a self-closing tag. The head is not a self-closing tag. The title is not a self-closing tag. The body is not a self-closing tag. So this, and the way you know is like it's identified by the forward slash towards the end. So I'm gonna show you how it is written. So you see here the body tag, we have the p tag, and we have the br to make sure this next sentence here goes to a new line. So I'm gonna show you. So we have an heading tag. The heading tag is when we tend to prioritize the important stuff. So in HTML, we make use of headings. So each headings here is denoted as H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and they both have a closing tag. Location, it is placed inside the body tag. And usage, H1 to H6 is arranged on basis of priority. So they have a different priority, and H1 is the highest. H1 has the highest priority. So the visibility, the text placed inside this tag will be visible on the main web page. So this is the way to write it. So I'm gonna show you how to do that when I'm doing the text editor tutorial in a few minutes. So bold, we have a bold, italics, and underline tag. So the bold tag is denoted as B, and it has a closing tag here. And location, it is placed inside the body tag. Usage, it lets you make the text bold to showcase importance. The italic tag is denoted as high. Location, it is placed inside the body tag. Usage, let you make the text to be italicized. And we have the underline tag, and it's denoted as a U. Location, it is also placed inside the body tag, and in usage, just in case you want to underline a text. So let's go by saying, so I'm going to explain this maybe tomorrow. So let's stop here and go to like the text editor tutorial. So I have my HTML that I created, and I have my title. So let me say on my title is my first web, my first, let me say my web page, and in the body I have the body paragraph P, and I said this is my web page. Then I'm trying to put the BR tag. I said this is my web page. Oh no, let me put it here, and then I am beginning. I am very happy to learn about web design in space. Then I'm gonna close my tag with a p tag. Then I have the bold tag, p tag, my paragraph tag here. Then I'm trying to make my text bold, so I say b, then I close it. Then I say hello, I am bold. Then I close my p tag. Then I close my paragraph tag. Then I say p tag. I say italic to make my text italics is I, and I said I, my name is italic. Then I can close the italic tag. Then I close my p tag. Then I have p to underline my word, and I said you here. Then I said I am underlining my word. I am underlining my word. Then I end it with my u tag, closing tag for u, and closing tag for my paragraph tag. Then I have my h1, my heading tag, h1 tag. I have this is heading 1. Then I close it, h1. Oh no, so I close this. So to save time, I'm just gonna copy and paste. Then so I have h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. So I have no. So I have h2, h2. I have h3. I have h3. I have h4. I have h4. I have h5. I have h5 here, closing. So I have h6. I have h6 here. So that I'm gonna save my document. So let's go through it step by step. So first I open a text file, text editor, and I enter HTML to start my document. Then I move to edit tag. Then inside my edit tag I have my title tag, my web page. Then I close my edit tag. Then inside my body tag I have the paragraph tag that says this is my web page. This is my web page. Then I have the break line to make my next sentence in to be in second line. So I'm very happy to learn about web design, and I have my my paragraph ending here. It should be, see, I'm making a mistake here, so it should be p. Oh, it should be a p to show that I'm ending my tag. Then I have a new paragraph here, and I said I want it to be in bold, so I have b. Let me just go back. So you see I have my break line here. but I don't have a close tag for the break line because the break line is a self closing tag. So I have my